of you have really busy, not only busy at home with your sister and your nephew, you're also very busy in all your own careers.
Exactly.
So I'm just thinking that maybe if we could check into, type of respite care or a nurse, someone that could come into the home, someone that could help you guys out, because we're looking at 3 really busy adults, and all of you sound like you're really close to burnout, and that's one of the most important things. We talked a little bit about self-care, and for you to be able to take care of yourself, your parents to be able to take care of themselves, because you have a sister that needs help and a nephew, and if all of you are burnt out and fighting and not getting along, not working together, you guys won't be able to help her.
Yeah.
So it seems like what we're looking at is a way to, like I said, to give you back your life, to help you take care of your sister and your nephew and your parents, for you all to work together, but for you to have, what if you could be living any particular way, your most perfect setting right now. If you could see that, if you could envision that, what would it be?
I would be buying a small condo or apartment and working and traveling a lot. I've never really wanted to have kids or start a family or get married. I've just wanted to kind of live an independent life and be the fun aunt that pops in and out, and be a support to my family, but not be the crutch that feels like, if you pull me out, everything's going to fall to pieces.
That's a lot of responsibility. That's a lot of responsibility to have on your shoulders.
And a part of me thinks that I always knew that it was going to be like this, that I just saw it coming almost.
Has your sister always been ill? You said she'd always...
She's never taken good care of herself. My mom's always had spending problems. My other sister, the one with the 2-year-old, she's doing okay, but she takes after my mom in a lot of... I think she saw my mom spending a lot and never being financially responsible, and is the same way. And I didn't mention this, but I help her and her husband a lot financially as well. So, I mean, they needed a car because her husband owns a lawn care company, and Renata just got a job, a part-time job, to kind of help with the finances, and so she needed a car, but their credit's terrible, and so the loan's in my name, and Renata makes the payments most of the time,
But sometimes you have to step in and do that also. So you're stretched every direction in your family.
But everybody sees it as if since I live at home for free, I think they just think that I can keep giving, or that I should keep giving, and I don't know if that's true. And when I challenge it, it's that selfish thing, like,
That's how you feel when they do that. Did you ever consider when you're faced with that, you live at home for free, maybe challenging that statement to them and saying, that's true, I don't pay rent, but I contribute, I take care, I help with the care, I help with my nephew, I drive, I cook, I help financially in other areas.
I've thought about that, but it just feels like it would hurt them too much. And I've also thought about, just paying rent to them like I would pay if I was living somewhere else, and saying, that's it, like, that's the money that you guys get this month, and you can spend it however you want, on Renata's car payment or Dylan's daycare or paying off credit card bills, but that seems cold.
No, that seems like that could be a really positive thing for you, because then there's no wondering, and there's no, it's black and white. And say, this is the amount, come up with the amount for you to live there, and then it would be there. That would take a burden off you. You would be paying your way, you would be paying your rent, and it would give your parents a responsibility to say what they're going to spend it on. So then part of your burden, part of your responsibilities would be taken away. You'd still be paying your way, but you wouldn't have to worry about, I'm being told I don't pay my rent, but I do contribute financially.
And I do. I think I pay as much or more than I would pay for rent in other places, and I wonder when is it going to be enough. Like, and then I also worry that what if I don't have enough money then to help out when needed, and then
Right.
and I just don't. There's just a lot of unknowns.
And I think that maybe a way to deal with that would be if you feel that your parents would be responsive to it, to sit down and just have a really heart-to-heart one-on-one with them. If they would be responsive to that, and say, I'd like to sit down and talk about paying rent, making a payment to you, and then you deciding what you want to do with what I pay, because then I feel like I'm contributing, but I don't feel like I'm overspending. I don't feel like I'm going to run out of money to not be able to help you, because let them know that you're wanting to help them is really important to you. I mean, it sounds like you want to be there for your parents, but you also want to be able to eventually buy a condo, live your own life, living kind of in this limbo. I don't know that you see that ever happening. And so maybe that would be a step. Because that's what I was going to ask you next. What do you think right now in your life? What is stopping you from that dream of buying a condo and moving out on your own? And you talked about several of the things. So
I don't envision a future anymore. I don't know what that would even look like. There was a few months ago when Dylan and Stinette first came to live with us. It was right after Christmas, and Renata was at my parents' house. And Stinette, it was the first time Stinette told us that she thought we wish she would just die because it would be easier. And Renata and I were talking about that and how she could possibly feel that way. And I kind of thought for a second it would be easier. And not that I want her to die, but she's Dylan's mom. And so sometimes I think, if something were to happen to Stinette and she were to pass away, a part of it might be easier because I could just take Dylan and everybody would be back to normal. And I could go and I could move up and get promotions and move around and I would have Dylan, but just having Dylan right now seems so easy.
Just Dylan with
Dylan, and
that's a completely normal response. To think about that doesn't mean you wish it would happen, but to think about it, to think about the difference in your life if you just had Dylan, if you could just take Dylan and move out, you wouldn't be dealing with your parents' problems, wouldn't be dealing with your sister's problems. It would just be you and Dylan.
And I could live in a less expensive area. I could get restationed somewhere else that it doesn't cost so expensive to live there, and I would be fine. I have a good salary. I could take care of Dylan and I. And
would your sister, just as a possibility, would your sister ever be open to that?
No.
She
I don't think she would live. I don't think she would even take care of herself at all if she didn't have Dylan. I don't think she sees a reason in living. I mean, we've talked to her about doing things like there's a lot of hotels where we live, and so a big tourist industry, and they hire people with mental illnesses sometimes or things to fold laundry. And so she's mostly blind, but she could easily take this. There's this handicap van. It's called the handy van that picks up people. When she was younger, she used to take that to the movies or whatnot. It's kind of expensive, but at least that would, and so we're thinking that she could get a job. One of my cousins is a manager in one of these hotels and said she could get her a job in the laundry room. She would sit down and she would fold towels, and because she doesn't need to have very good vision or be able to walk around, and it would give her a purpose. And it wouldn't be a great purpose, but it would give her a purpose. But she doesn't exactly a little more spending money, stuff to save. I don't even know what she'd want